Hey guys, today's video is just an update on how my exclusively pumping has been going and how I'm feeling. So just to start, I am almost 3 months postpartum. So I have been completely 100% exclusively pumping for the past 2.5 months every 2 hours. Through the night, through the day, like that's it. And I'm going to be honest, it is so exhausting. I've been using the Amita Elite breast pump because out of all the ones that I have, that one is my favorite and it's the best one to keep up my milk supply. So I've been using that one, and as for those of you who have used it, you know that it's not very portable. It's huge and heavy and bulky, and it has been so frustrating having to lug it around everywhere I go. Because I will always need it. If I go to my mom's or even just the mall, I have to put it in my car so I can go to the car and pump. Like, it's insane. And if you have watched any of my previous videos, you know that I've always struggled with my milk supply, and I've been doing things such as like eating oatmeal or taking Milkmaid tea and that kind of stuff to help me boost my milk, which it has been doing, but even with that, I still have a very low supply. Just to give you an idea of what my supply is like, it was a little bit more recently and it has dropped, and I will explain why, but right now with it dropped, I get about 80 to 90 mils per pumping. So that's both sides combined. So about 40 to 45 mils per side, which is awful because he drinks about 260. So that's nowhere near feeding for him. So I have been supplementing with formula. But yeah, just to get back a little bit more, like I said, for the past 2.5 months, I have been consistently pumping every 2 hours to, maintain my milk supply and establish it and increase it. Now I've actually, like, the past 2 weeks have been so exhausting, and my husband has been away on a trip, and he's been gone for a week. So I've had the baby all through the night, and it's been getting like impossible for me to pump every 2 hours plus wake up, like, plus feed him when he wakes up. And normally he doesn't wake up through the night, but he has been, just because my husband's not there and he misses him. So all of that has just been making me so exhausted. I haven't been able to pump every 2 hours. And also, during the day has been pretty stressful too, and crazy busy, that I've been missing a lot of pumpings and sometimes going for 6-hour periods without pumping, which is so awful because that's like telling my body it's time to wean, you know what I mean? So I have noticed like an insane drop in my milk. I used to get both sides combined around 120. So that's an insane drop for me, from 120 to 80. That's 40 mils. Like, for me, that's a lot because I was never getting a lot to begin with. But it's been so bad, and I don't know what to do. And it's kind of I'm at that point where it's like if you had watched some of my previous videos, you'll also know that the reason why, like, that he just wouldn't breastfeed, like, since he was born, he's had trouble latching and all that. He just didn't want to nurse, and that kind of broke my heart because I knew that exclusively pumping would be so difficult, having to take my pump everywhere I go, and then you're doing double work because you're pumping and then you're feeding. So it's just been like so exhausting. And what are you staring at? And it's just, and like, the way I feel now is like, I just wish, things were easier and he could just nurse, because then I wouldn't have to take a pump everywhere. I just can put him on the breast and he will eat, and that's it. You know what I mean? And I can still give him bottles when I need. But now it's just awful. And like I said, if you watch some of my other videos, you'll also know that he did have a little bit of nipple confusion as well, just because 4 days after I left the hospital with him, I returned because I had one of my ribs fractured from him. And I wasn't able to breathe, and I was in a ton of pain. So I went back to the hospital and they put me on morphine, and that just knocked me out. So I was pumping, but I wasn't able to nurse him. And so he got his bottle for the first time, and I was there for 2 days, and consistently for 2 days he got the bottle, and I only put him on the breast once during those 2 days. And he was only, bless you, and he was only, bless you, 4 days old. So that really confused him, and that just made it so much, like, it made it that much harder to nurse. And just because of that, things have been like, I had to just completely stop nursing. He doesn't nurse at all anymore. Like, before I used to put him on at least once a day. Now it's like never. And so I have been pumping, and then, like I said, supplementing with formula, but it's just getting to the point where I don't want, like, I can't do it anymore, and I'm not sure if I'm going to give up or not. So yeah, and also sorry, this video is kind of all over the place here. I don't really have notes or anything. I'm just kind of trying to update you on what was going on. But another reason why like I had to stop breastfeeding was just because it was at the point where his latch was so bad, I was bleeding and he was literally drinking blood. Like I was in so much pain, like I just couldn't do it anymore. I was bawling my eyes out every time he'd latch on. So, what are you doing? You're talking like crazy. Mwah. So it was just, all of that was so frustrating, and that's what led me to exclusively pump. I was like, if I still want him to get this breast milk, it's so important to me, especially when he's developing, right? And not that like formula is awful, like a lot of people believe it's like poison. I don't believe that at all, but I just really, like everyone knows breast milk is better, and I really wanted him to have that. And it, it broke my heart that he wasn't able to nurse, and I was so looking forward to it. That I was like, well, maybe at least I can pump, and at least he'll get the milk, you know what I mean? I'm sorry he's so fidgety right now. Go over mommy's shoulder. So that's what led me to exclusively pump, but now I'm just at that point where like before I was like, I don't want to give up, I don't want to give up, and by 1 month I was exhausted from like lugging the pump everywhere and like every 2 hours pumping and then still finding the time to feed him, and I'm home alone with him usually. So that's hard because he makes me hold him a lot, and I don't even have time to get dinner done or whatever. So it's that like, for me it was like, oh my gosh, I just want to stop pumping, but then I was like, then he's gonna have to be exclusively on formula, and I just wanted him to get those benefits. And anyway, so just long story short, those past 2 weeks have been so awful. I've been barely pumping. He might, like, I think like the average, if you take all the times I pump during the day, it's about every 4 hours, and every 4 to 5, and that's like telling my body it's time to wean. So I've been getting less and less milk, which means he has been getting less and less milk, and I'm just so tired, and I'm like, I just want to quit right now and just pump twice a day, and then my milk will stop, and that's it, and then he gets formula. But there's some part of me that's like, no, just keep going. And to be honest, I really don't know how much longer I can go doing this. I know that like I'm honestly, like, I'm not beating myself up about it. I am actually really proud of myself that I've gone 3 months pumping like this. And if you know like what my lifestyle's like I'm always out of the house because we've had very busy lives. You'll understand why it's so much harder for me to have to take my pump everywhere I go, plus him, plus his diaper bag, and pump in the car, or even if I go out on a lunch date with a friend, I'm like, okay, the whole time, like, I'm thinking I gotta get home within 10 minutes now to pump, or, oh my gosh, my boobs are killing me because it's, it's over 4 hours and I haven't pumped yet because I'm out with a friend. Like, the whole time, it's all I'm thinking about is pumping, and it's just not fun anymore. And, hey, what, are you hungry? He's getting so hungry. And, it's just at that point where I'm like, I'm ready to give up. And I am proud of myself that I have come this far, but I don't know how much longer I can go doing this. So that's just kind of where I am at right now. I just wanted you guys to know, and I want to update you on how things were going. I still do take the fenugreek, the blessed thistle. I have been using the basil oil and the coconut oil as well, and I also have been eating oatmeal every morning and using the Milkmaid tea. All of these things in combination, and I know it sounds like so much stuff. It really isn't. Like, I don't even notice it anymore. Like, I'll just make myself a tea or just eat oatmeal for breakfast, that stuff, and it's not like I'm like, oh, this is for my breast milk. I don't even notice it anymore. But I don't know when I'm going to stop taking all that because I don't know when I'm going to stop pumping, but I have a feeling it's going to be within the next month because in 1 month he'll be 4 months and he'll be able to eat food. So I'm thinking maybe between the solid foods and maybe pumping 4 times a day, that might be enough, for him to get some food, some of my milk, and then supplement the rest with formula. Okay, honey, we're almost done. Oh, I feel so bad. So that's about it. That's where, like I said, that's where I am at right now. I'm not sure if I will be giving up, but I definitely feel like I will be slowing down, and I am slowing down for sure. So, like, probably by the next month I'll be only pumping 4 times a day. But like, at least he's still getting the breast milk, and I have managed to freeze 2,000 mils in the freezer. So even if I have to, I can give him 1 feeding every single day of breast milk. So at least he's getting a little bit of breast milk every day. But at some point I'm gonna have to stop because it's just getting to the point where it's too much. So yeah, I'm sorry this video was all over the place and that he was so fidgety. I didn't have notes and he hasn't eaten, so this is the only time I had to film and I took it, but I hope it was okay, and thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, I guess, then please subscribe, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye! No? Bye!